ninth round pick out of the Citadel in 1981. Stump carved out a successful NFL career with the Cardinals.
He's strong. He could move. He was agile. He could make guys miss. I mean, he had it all. He had everything.
In Cardinals franchise history, only Larry Fitzgerald has more all-purpose yards.
He did it all, man.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Running Back University, a Stump Talk podcast. And we'd like to always start the program off by thanking our sponsors, the T County Browns backers. We appreciate you. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in. We have a special guest with us tonight, Cleveland Browns legend Greg Pruitt, five-time Pro Bowler. I just cannot say enough. Y'all know his creds. You know his creds. Welcome to the program, Mr. Pruitt. How's by you, as we say in the South?
I'm doing fine.
That's fantastic. So before we jump in, tell folks where we can find you. We know you got your own situation going on. What days, times? Educate the people.
Well, I'm still here living in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a big Browns fan. I do Monday morning running back is what it's called on Channel 8, about 7:45 in the morning. It's a recap of all the games and give my opinion as to what happened. And other than that, I'm retired.
I bet you had a lot to say this week.
Unfortunately, yes.
And of course, we don't need to reintroduce, but we have the dynamic as well, Coach Stump Mitchell on with us. Coach Mitchell, how's by you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me again. Greg, good seeing you, partner.
Hey, good seeing you. Hey, I found out something today.
What is that?
You are cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ada Iola, 1970.
New Alpha, Spring 81.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, gentlemen, now that we've bonded on the fraternal side, let's get moving. Mr. Pruitt, Coach Mitchell, share your initial thoughts about what you saw on Sunday while watching the Browns-Ravens game, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Greg.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, the Browns got off to a slow start. They've kind of picked up where they left off last year. In my opinion, our strength is our defense. But when the offense can't move the ball, eventually they wear the defense out, and people beat us in the second half of every game. The solution by Coach Stefanski has been so far to go for it on 4 downs instead of 3 downs to try to keep the offense on the field and give the defense more rest. But that hasn't worked. So we're gonna have to pick it up, running the football. We gotta quit shooting ourselves in the foot. There's no team in the NFL that need any help to beat you. So the Browns have been beating themselves and turn over the ball. If you look at the stats, the numbers, they're very close, but when you look at the score, it's a different thing because we spot them about 21 points Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was another wasted effort by the defense. I mean, those guys, Coach Schwartz has those guys believing and making them know that they only control the defensive part of the game. They're going to go out, they're going to bust their butt the entire time. I think offensively, for Joe to throw the ball that many times and have that many completions and not have more passing yardage is not indicative of the type of player that he is. I mean, he's got an arm where you can stretch the ball down the field, and you're throwing all these rinky-dink passes. Kevin isn't the coach that he was, or his game plan is not the coach that he was when he had Joe the first time around. Totally different.
Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts, gentlemen. And Coach Mitchell, I want to stick with you. What is the difference? What do you see as the difference in Joe Flacco this season compared to a couple of seasons ago? Or is it more the difference that you see in Coach Stefanski's play calling?
Well, you take a look at who Coach Stefanski has with him right now on the offensive side of the ball. Pretty much the only person that he has with him is Chad O'Shea. Everybody else, for the most part, is gone. For whatever reason, you know, uh, Ashton Grant, who was with them forever, wasn't good enough to have a better promotion on his team, but now he's a quarterback coach in New England. And why was that? Because Rabel saw something good in him. I mean, this guy is now the quarterback coach for him, his first year back in the limelight as a head coach. So there was a lot of guys on Coach Stefanski's staff that did a lot of things, but for whatever reason, he didn't deem them necessary to return. And now you look at what he's done since that staff offensively has departed. He really hadn't done anything but fired a couple offensive coordinators, fired a offensive line coach, putting blame everywhere else. At some point in time, you got to look in that mirror. As a coach, I do that every time because I'm responsible for helping the other coaches be successful. My players are responsible. I look myself in the mirror every day to my players and also to the coaches that I work with. And I don't think Kevin looks himself in the mirror.
Yeah, and to that end, Mr. Pruitt, what is the impact in the locker room when situations like this happen? How do the different, I guess I want to say, parts of the team, the defense, the offense, the special teams, I mean, everybody had a hand in the outcome of this game on Sunday. What's the impact on players on the other side of the ball when they see that they're not executing, right, and being successful on the field, nothing near comparability wise as to what we see the Browns defense doing?
Well, it's 2 weeks. The special teams have not come through and put us in a kind of a hole. Uh, being a returner myself, I'm disappointed, and sometimes the decisions that the returners are making, I, I, I had an attitude where I refused the fat catch. I was going to try to return every ball that was kicked. Now, sometimes you couldn't, but that was my attitude. And so, for guys to let the ball hit the ground, you're out of control now. You know what I was going to do. And unfortunately for us, the ball picked up another 15, 20 yards. That's more yards on the offense to have to go down the field and score. So, special teams plays a big part. Well, we missed an opportunity 2 weeks ago with the kicker. It seems as though he's gotten his stuff kind of turned around and made some kicks. But these guys are young. We got some young people and some young in some of the positions, and this was the first game for a lot of the guys to play on the road in the NFL. It's hard to play, period, at home. But when you add noise crowd in Baltimore, it is unusual and it causes a lot of problems. And you have to be prepared. I always describe it. It's like trying to cross a freeway. The car, everything is moving fast. And eventually, as you repeat things and see things on film and correct yourself, they start to slow down. But hopefully, they're going to get this together.
Okay. Okay. And Coach Mitchell, I'm going to come back to you. What is the impact that this game had on the offensive players?
Well, players know players. That's one thing for sure. And they know they had a hand in it. But for the most part, all the transactions that the Browns have made, uh, going back, and I speak about it all the time. Donovan People Jones, when you go back and you take a look at what he did in Cleveland, and we cast him aside for Elijah Moore, and now you no longer have Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ernest Johnson, Case Keenum, all of those guys were well respected in the locker room. The way they handled uh, Amari Cooper's contract.
Mhm.
First of all, Greg, you got to know the personality of each and every one of those guys. You can deal with some guys hard,
Yes.
and then you have to be a father and almost a mother to some of those kids. And
Right.
I say
That's
kids,
right.
but young men. And Amari Cooper was a guy that
Right.
just a quiet guy, a very smart, very intelligent guy. And then the way they handled his contract after getting him from Dallas for a 6 round pick. I mean, Amari came to Cleveland and he had more touchdowns his first year there than he ever had in his career. His second year with Joe Flacco and other quarterbacks, he had more yards in a single year than he ever had before. And then we didn't redo his contract, brought him in late, but now his mental is messed up,
Yeah.
and he had a bad season. He dropped some balls that he normally would have caught, but he wasn't in training camp until he wasn't in camp before he had to be there.
And you know what? We got a couple of
Right.
questions here from the Tuscarawas County Browns backers. One is to you, Coach Mitchell. Do you think Stefanski will make a QB change?
I think right now, I think Kevin will do whatever he's told to do. That's what I think. I mean, I don't know how you can allow those offensive coaches that you had to go. You didn't stick up for him. I mean, it was Alex Van Pelt who was the offensive coordinator both times that he won Coach of the Year. Uh, they were both successful in running and passing because we had Bill Callahan as the offensive line coach. David Njoku went to the Pro Bowl when he had T.C. McCartney as his tight ends coach. And Scott Peters, if you're going to allow Coach Callahan to go, you name Scott Peters the offensive line coach because he's been there the entire time. And you also get a chance to keep his assistant, John DeCosta, and you're able to keep the same offense, guys rolling. And that was the main thing last year. A lot of guys were coming back from injury, and now they're trying to learn a new system. It just wasn't going to happen. And this year, it's a totally different offense with Joe Flacco the first couple games than it was when Joe was there 2 years ago when they should have signed him back.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the announcer himself said what I was thinking. It looks like Kevin Stefanski's offense is heavily predicated on the bootleg, the play action bootleg, and it just doesn't seem like there's just something. Joe Flacco looks different to me. So to your point, is this the same offense that Coach Stefanski was running when Flacco was here the first time? And if not, why do you think he would both bring Flacco back and change the offense, Coach?
Well, you got a new offensive coordinator. Okay, he named somebody else as his offensive coordinator. Reese, Coach Reese, I think, who was the tight ends coach. He made him his offensive coordinator. It was totally different. The quarterback that he was coaching at Alabama, a totally different quarterback. So all Kevin had to do was go back to the playbook that he used when he had Joe Flacco there. They stretched the field a whole heck of a lot more. Uh, pass play action was a part of the offense then as well, but they took their shots downfield. And now
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Jerry Judy having over 1,000 yards last year, and you got David Njoku, that's another reason why drafting Travis Hunter would have been the thing to do because now you got two speed guys, you got David in the middle, and it would have been tough.
I am lost for loss of words. I try to be neutral, right? But as a fan, it feels like somebody's reaching in my chest and pulling my heart out because this goes back to the question that many fans have. Does the head coach and the GM work together to
Yeah,
decide? Yeah,
yes,
go
I
ahead.
think I think they work together. Now it's not always that way because I first got in the league under Coach Mike Holmgren, who was the head coach in Green Bay and then won Super Bowl championships, but he didn't have the final say on personnel. So he got the opportunity to be the general manager and the head coach in Seattle. So he left Green Bay, and you know most head coaches they want to see they want to see the type of players that they think they can use in their system. But I don't know if Kevin succumb to whatever I think he do because I just don't see how he could have allowed if he was calling the shots. He can say he was calling the shots, But if he was calling the shots and he let those offensive coaches go, he was selfish and he didn't learn from anything that went on.
Now that's a real insight. I want to switch back over to Mr. Pruitt. One of the highlights for me, the high points of the game, was Quinshawn Judkins. Right? Uh, didn't do training camp. Came in literally off the street. He had 10 carries, averaged about 6 yards per game. Mr. Pruitt, how do you see the Browns can implement him moving forward in that run game? And what type of overall impact do you think the young man is going to have on our team this season?
Well, he showed a lot of potential in the opportunities that he had. We definitely got to get our running game going, and I think he could help us in that. If we don't, everybody's going to put pressure on Flacco, and it's just not going to work.
Why did it seem like he did so much better? He was more explosive. He ran more powerfully out of the backfield than even like a Samson or a Ford. What's different about him or the play calling when he's on the field?
Well, that's exactly
Well,
it.
it's just his style.
That's exactly it. It's the play calling. I know one thing. You can go back and you can compare their stats at whatever level you want to, and Jerome's stats are better than those guys. This game is about having love, showing players that you love them. Not always trying to replace them, especially when they're good dang on players. This guy came out of college. Okay, Jerome Ford averaged over 5 yards a carry last year, and now you trying to replace him. How about showing them some love? And because when given the opportunity, Greg, it's tough as a running back. You getting one carry
Yeah,
here, one carry there. You're
yeah,
not getting a groove. Offensive lineman, unfortunately, didn't get a block. I mean, it's tough. You take a look at the
right.
game last night uh, when the Texans decided to go for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking a field goal, and they running up the middle of the Red Veal. I mean, one of the toughest guys. They kicked that field goal. They won that game last night because they came back. They kicked a field goal the second time, and then they scored a touchdown.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Go ahead, Mr. Pruitt.
Well, I think sometimes stop as a running back, when you know that you're going to get the ball a certain number of times, a lot of times you see something when you run the ball that if you get another chance at that same play, you make that defender pay for that. But if you never get that opportunity, that's just a play somebody jammed up and you don't get the opportunity to set the play up.
And speaking of running back, let's talk about the running backs coach, Deuce Staley. What grade would you give Deuce Staley specifically for the first two games of this season?
I love Deuce Staley. I mean, Deuce is probably the only coach that uh, that replaced other coaches that he could stand up to a Stump Mitchell. Those other coaches that they replaced him with, it wasn't fair. They couldn't stand up to Coach Callahan or those Alex Van Pelt because they came there in a tough situation where a lot of players was hurt. They're changing a new system, and you fired them after a year. That wasn't fair. That was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Pruitt, thoughts?
Well, I don't know a lot about the coach himself personally, but I agree with Stomp. If he's doing a good job, you got to develop a relationship. I mean, my running back coach followed me to Oklahoma. I did a lot of the things because he knew me. He knew what to expect from me, and he disciplined me to do the right thing. So sometimes it's a relationship that backs develop with running back coaches or just coaches in period to get more out of them.
Yeah. Earlier, Coach Stump, you mentioned that Joe Flacco was a stretch passer. Who of the wide receiving core do you feel is best yoked with his style of throwing?
The ones they have. I mean, David Njoku is a downfield threat. Jerry Judy is a downfield threat. I believe they have the receivers to do it. I just don't think the play calling, the game plan, the patterns are there for them to do that on a majority of the play action passes and stuff that they call. They're throwing a lot of underneath stuff. You got to give them opportunities downfield.
Yeah. Mr. Pruitt, thoughts?
Well, I think they got to put a little bit more into the run game attempts to run the ball
Mhm.
because I think everything. If you can establish a run against a defense, that's something else they got to worry about. Then play action becomes a great part. But if you don't make the attempts and you don't make the runs, then they're gonna just shut. They're gonna disrespect the run and play pass, and that's how you get picks. That's how you get people that can't get open. That's how you get sacks.
You got to have variety in what you're doing. I'm at West Georgia right now, and when I first came here, I told the running backs, "Look, we should be the number one. We should have the number one rusher in the country, okay? Because we have an offensive coordinator that was an offensive line coach last year. Our offensive line coach, Nashawn Goddard, won a Super Bowl with the Giants and also with the Saints. you know, I played in the league for a little bit. I coached in the league for a little bit. So I think I know talent when I see it. And right now, Latrell Morrell, who didn't play much last year, sits at the top of the list in terms of being the number one rusher in the country after 3 games. He's got 415 yards. The next guy got 380 yards. But those are goals that you have to set, and guys work to make stuff happen you know. And I don't think Kevin, for the most part, got a lot of guys around him that uh, say something. I just don't think it's a cohesive group. And one thing about players, they know players, and they also know and react to some of the moves that are made. They may not be able to control those moves, but they have a feeling about them.
Okay, okay, very good. I'm checking his stats out. He did very well. West Georgia College now 3-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right on. And Coach Stump's spotlight running back of the week is Jeffrey Brown. Let's check out this clip to give us some context.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome our guy, Jeffrey Brown, to the Running Back U Stump Talk podcast. Jeffrey Brown, I want to let you know you are the first guest to be the Running Back Spotlight Player of the Week. We want to welcome you to the Stump Talk podcast. We have our guy, Stump Mitchell, the 25-year running back coach. And I just want to let you know, you family, we're glad that you are our first guest and you are welcome here. How you feeling, Jeffrey?
Good.
Feeling
Hello,
good?
Jeffrey.
Just
Good to
want to
Yeah.
meet you.
ask you some questions. We want to let people get to know you. First and foremost, I want to say a happy birthday to my guy. We will be having you on a podcast for the world to see on your birthday. So happy birthday, my man. I hope to get a piece of cake from your birthday party.
Okay.
Our first question, tell us your name.
Jeffrey Brown,
Jeffrey Brown, how old are you?
8,
8 years old. When is your birthday?
September 16,
Let's go. What team do you play for?
Akron Bengals,
And what is your jersey number?
number 6,
I want to ask you, why do you like playing the running back position?
because it's a good position and I like it.
Do you have a touchdown dance?
Yeah, but we can't do it.
You can't do it. Can you do the touchdown dance on the sideline?
Yeah,
I just want to give some stats out there on you, Jeffrey. He's averaging 3 touchdowns a game. He had 5 touchdowns in one game. He's an honor roll student at Emmanuel Christian Academy. He had 36 touchdowns last season. He's also a track star. He runs the 100, the 200. Can you tell us you like track or basketball the most?
track.
You like track the most. That's
Yeah,
very good. We are going to be playing your highlights on the show. What is the song that you listen to, Jeffrey, to get you pumped up and get you ready for a game?
uh, Bossman D-Lo. track and basketball, but basketball, well, I gotta wait until it start though.
Okay. What position you play in basketball?
Basketball, everything.
Okay, I hear that. How do you keep up with your schoolwork and football and sports? How do you balance it?
I don't know that question.
You have homework every
Keep up
night?
with my stuff.
Say that again.
Like keep up with my stuff.
You keep up with your stuff. So do you like going to school?
Yeah,
Um, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I wanna be football player.
And I have a question. You know, our coach Stump, he's coached 5 or 6 different NFL teams. He's coached 12 or 13 Pro Bowlers. Do you have a question for him, Jeffrey, that you want to ask an NFL coach?
How do it feel like coaching a running back?
Feels great, and
Okay, well, he's going to answer that question live on the show. You can find Jeffrey on Instagram at Jeffrey Brown 6 underscore J Bizzle. That's JEFFERY Brown, the number 6 underscore J Bizzle. I want to say hello and give a thanks to your mother, Lachelle. She's a great sports mom. And Mr. Eddie Jackson, who's, from where I'm from, is a very important person, and he's great at sports. So you have a great cast around you, Jeffrey. So we're
Yeah.
going to be cheering for you. I'm coming to see you play. Go Akron Bengals. Any last thing you want to say, Jeffrey?
No.
Okay. Well, keep doing the good work.
Oh,
And
yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you.
You are very welcome, my friend. And welcome. You are the first official athlete to be running back spotlight of the week. So congrats. I want you to enjoy your birthday. And thank you for joining our show.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, how precious was he? Jeffrey Brown, running back of the week. Coach Stump, Mr. Pruitt. Wow.
that young man, if he continues to do the things that he's doing, it's no question he's going to be major college and he's going to be a superstar in football because he has the vision, he has the ability to make people miss in space. He's got a stiff arm. He has everything that it takes in order to be a successful running back. I didn't see him catching any passes, but I don't think that's a problem for him. But he's outstanding.
All right. Well, listen, we want to thank you for tuning in, listening, watching on our live stream to another episode of Running Back University, a Stump Talk podcast. I want to thank our special guest, Mr. Greg Pruitt, ABC Superstars. I watched that, sir. That I'm aging myself, and I'm just saying. And of course, Coach Stump Mitchell. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come on back and see us next week. And thank you also to the T County Browns backers.